Good day. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into First Take on a feel-good Friday with some Game 3s coming up. Big perk gracing your television screen. Top of the morning to you, sir. And look who's back on the East Coast. Welcome home,
It's nice.
SA. It's not so bad here.
It's not so bad here. It's not so bad here. I mean, I miss the California sunshine and all of that stuff, but
It's gonna be 68 today.
It's sunshine in New York City, so I am good. And
Thank you.
It's not like I'm baking in Texas, so I'm all right. I'm
Well,
all right.
Well, I will say this. Look, it is actually raining outside. It thunderstormed last night, so you
In
made
LA?
the right choice, Stephen. And yeah, in L.A. Look, Molly, I heard a special someone had the little bubble guts when they walked onto the set. Your tummy
that
hurt
would be
today?
me.
You
That'd
scared?
be me.
Yeah, okay. Well, get your act together.
I got a little stomach virus that I'm trying to fend off, but it don't matter. I'm still here, ain't I? I'm
Yeah.
ready.
Listen,
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
got better from the booster shot. I was down and out for a week. Please, I can't catch anything.
cool.
And I threw my back out. Like, come on, I can't handle this.
Listen, I don't know what to tell you. I'm double vaccinated. I'm boosted.
No, it's your stomach thing.
Plus, I
It's the
tested
stomach thing
negative.
I'm
I mean,
worried
I don't know
about.
what else to tell you, okay?
Oh, my gosh.
I'm all
The
right.
stomach thing. Giving
I'm
a
all
girl
right. Let's go.
agita. All right. Let's start the show. Memphis, how about it, folks? Climbing up the chimney last night, handled all the smoke. The Grizzlies overcame a 26-point deficit to defeat the Timberwolves in Game 3. Memphis won 104-95 and now lead the series 2-1 again. The Grizzlies were down by 26 early in the second, also down by 25 late in the third, but it ain't over till it's over. Here's John finishing the J.O.B.
They were booing you all game. Every time you touched the ball, how did it feel at the end of the game, to get the last laugh?
Good. I'm disrespectful just like they disrespectful. That's why you see I threw that ball in the air. I asked for the ball. I know what we're capable of, and like I said, this morning, that was our goal, come in and, win games on the road and have their fans go home mad. So, it'd probably be a lot of people, drinking tonight with that L.
4 shots for you. Just what did you see out there, and why was it so hard for you to get involved?
Go home, drink some wine, move on to the next day. I mean, that's really simple. Just decompress. Just go home. Remember what got me here, what got us here. Our support systems, our work, and each other. And we just got to lean on that.
All right, Big Perk. Was this more of a Grizz comeback or a T-Wolves collapse?
Oh, this was everything about the Memphis Grizzlies in the dark side. Look, when you see a young team like this on the road get down by 26 points and come back to win the game the way that they did, look, we could talk about offense all you want, but think about this for a second. They hung their hats on the defensive end. And this is the exact same reason why I say this team has a bunch of young guys with old souls. That in the 2 most important quarters of a basketball game, the second quarter and the fourth quarter, the Memphis Grizzlies buckled down and held the Minnesota Timberwolves to 12 points in each quarter. This had nothing to do with Minnesota giving the game away. The Memphis Grizzlies went and took that game. They have a deep roster. They play a gender-free basketball, and what I saw last night was them show that they're able to overcome adversity, and this is a great sign for the Memphis Grizzlies and a horrible sign for the rest of the NBA.
I disagree with you, man. Let me say this. I give major props to the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm not trying to disagree with anything that you said positively about the Memphis Grizzlies. But this was about the collapse of the Minnesota Timberwolves. You know what? Charles Barkley was calling them a dumb team. I'm not going to say that about them. I'm going to say they played dumb last night. They didn't do anything to stop the bleeding. Kendrick Perkins, how many times in your life have you seen a team lose a 25-point lead in the first half, a 26-point lead, and then a 25-point lead in the second half, and they lose the damn lead, okay? You're talking about 2 minutes, a little under 3 minutes left in the third quarter. The Minnesota Timberwolves were up 79-54. The Memphis Grizzlies outscored them 50-16. the rest of the way. And those last 3 points by Anthony Edwards really didn't count. So it was more like 50-13. They got annihilated, okay? And when you look at it, and I got to say this, and I know you're going to agree with me about this, KP. You watched Karl Anthony Towns just now. Somebody's got to say this, so I'm going to say this. Karl Anthony Towns is a good brother. And this is a dude that's incredibly talented, averages 24.6 points and 9.8 rebounds this year. The guy shot over 40% from three-point range, for crying out loud. He is a special talent. You're also the face of the franchise that's come up weak on the court on too many occasions when it really, really counts. And now you're coming up weak in post-game conferences. Next question, Karl Anthony Towns, with all due respect, who the hell are you to say next question? Think about that for a second. You just got to the playoffs. We just learning who you are. And this is the imagery that you want to give us? We got Ja Morant's father and Karl Anthony Towns' father having a blast, friendly wagering against one another and what have you, sitting there being the tremendous, incredible father figures that they are. We got 2 stars in Ja Morant and Karl Anthony Towns. It's a playoff game. It's one game. It's one game. And you have a very bad game. It's the second time I think he's had more turnovers than field goals. He had it in the play-in game in Minnesota when he fouled out with 7 minutes and 34 seconds left and only had 11 points. And then this is a playoff game. Your second playoff game, not this time. I know you were in the playoffs with Jimmy Butler and all of that stuff earlier in your career, about 3 or 4 years back. I get all of that when Tom Thibodeau was your coach. But these 2 games in Minnesota, you had 8 points. Karl Anthony Towns, you have any idea how embarrassing that is? 8 points for Karl Anthony Towns and had more turnovers than field goals attempted. I don't give a damn how idiotic the guard play is, the coaching is, or whatever. You are a star. There is no way in a playoff game you can justify taking 4 shots when you are the face of the franchise. That ultimately is on you. I don't give a damn if you have to slap somebody upside the head. You got to grab somebody in the headlock. You got to trip them up and kick them and take the damn ball from them. You do what you got to do to at least show that you are an active participant. And when you did not do that in a press conference, you sit there and say, next question, who the hell are you? Show up. You're the face of the franchise. Handle your business. Memphis is coming, as Kendrick Perkins highlighted. They're trying to bring all of that smoke, which is why I said, you down 1-0. I said, I don't give a damn. I got Memphis in 5. I don't give a damn if Minnesota wins another game. I'd still say Memphis is in 5. In other words, to illuminate the fact there is no excuse for the Memphis Grizzlies to lose this series with all the noise we have all made about them. But Karl Anthony Towns really, really comes across as incredibly disappointing because, again, you're not handling your business. And you don't look any better when you're trying to explain why you're not handling your business. Get it together, bro. Get it together. Go ahead, KP.
Well, you're 98% right on everything you just said. And let me tell you why I disagree with you at. First of all, Karl Anthony Towns not the franchise player of Minnesota. That would be Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards walks around and carries himself like he's the franchise guy. Matter of fact, Anthony Edwards actually has to put the key in Karl Anthony Towns' back. Look, it's too many times that we have seen Karl Anthony Towns fall short. And he's starting to be the true definition of a front runner. He was mic'd up during the game, and when the Minnesota Timberwolves were up, I think about, 16, 17 points, we heard clips of him saying, told you it's going to be different when they get to Minnesota. All that woofing and barking, but you come up small. And so I'm to the point where you're mad at Karl Anthony Towns, but to me, this is expected. Because if a person show you who they are, you got to believe them. And this is who Karl Anthony Towns is. He talk a lot of smack. He may show up once every 2 games, but the other games he's going to shy away and disappear when it's time and it's money time and the game gets close.
Well, listen, here's what I'm going to say to you. That wasn't the case with Karl Anthony Towns in Game 1. So let's give credit where credit is due in Memphis. He did play well in game 1 to make up for how he performed in the play-in game. That's number 1. Number 2, I do agree with you that Anthony Edwards will be the face of this franchise because he just has that it factor, and I get where you're coming from. But for this moment, in terms of experience, in terms of the level of consistency as it pertains to his productivity, I'm still going to give that edge to Karl Anthony Towns. Where Karl Anthony Towns looks so bad is that responsibility of being the face of the franchise isn't just about numbers. It's also about you showing up in big moments, and it's also about you being the face of the franchise when it comes to standing up to scrutiny. And right now, he looks very, very, very small. And I'm telling them to warn them so you can get better at it, okay? It's not to condemn him. It's not to act like, oh, my God, you're a finished product. We understand Karl Anthony Towns is still young or whatever, and he's an incredible talent. But more is expected of you, bro. And the fact of the matter is when adversity hits, you shrink, and then you looking elsewhere. That's not what franchise players do. Period.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's just not built like that. I mean, he's from New Jersey, that New York area. They just not built like that. But Anthony Edwards, he's from East Atlanta.
What the hell is that supposed to mean? What the hell is that supposed to mean? Where do you get all that?
It has nothing to do with the tri-state area.
New Jersey, New York area.
Get out of here, Big Perk.
We're built different in the South. That's what that means.
Oh, that's what it's about?
Built different in the South.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Let's settle down.
We can have that conversation at a later. That might be the most ignorant statement you ever uttered out of your mouth. New York, New Jersey, they ain't built that way. Please.
Oh, There's
something wrong with you.
Maybe you just can't commit 5 fouls and expect to lead your team. All right. Golden State up 3 games to none, looking to take game 4 and grab ring 4 as they knock off the Joker and the Denver Nuggets by 5 points. It was a total team effort. The big 4 back to Draymond holding it down on defense. Steph Clay and the young gun Jordan Poole all putting up points. The youth and the vets appear to be a recipe for success. Here's Steph Curry.
Coming into the playoffs, we talked about we're going to have to figure it out on the fly. A lot of people talked about, like, that might be a cop-out answer because we've been together for so long, but it doesn't mean that it's going to click. And, you know, like you said, we came in, we were really focused, energetic in the first half, built a big lead. They're going to fight. They're an NBA team. They have an ego, and they did, but we responded, finished the game down the stretch, which was huge, and we did it a lot of different ways. So a lot to build on. Can't get complacent, though. So as soon as we walk off the court, we're done celebrating.
All right, Big Perk. Booker's hurt. Warriors balling. Has Golden State changed your mind now about the West?
Just a little bit, Molly. Just a little bit. You remember I said I gave them a 0 chance of actually contending for a title? Now it's at about 40%. And here's why it's at 40%. Because the Memphis Grizzlies are going to be standing in their way, okay? And when you look at that Memphis Grizzlies team, yes, again, they don't have a lot of household names, but they did have a guy that was up for most improved player this year, Desmond Baines, who, by the way, lit Minnesota up last night. Right. They do have the best backup point guard in the NBA in Tyus Jones, and the numbers are there to back it up. They also have Ja Morant, who we all know is a superstar and is unguardable. Here's the thing about the Golden State and the Denver Nuggets series. The Denver Nuggets stink, okay? The Denver Nuggets flat out stink. They don't have perimeter play. All they do is depend on Jokic, who some may have voted for their MVP. And then I gotta put a little heat on Mike Malone. This is why I gotta put a little heat on Mike Malone. For the simple fact that he played one way, one style the entire season. And that was throw the ball to Jokic, everybody do cutting action. We're going to run almost 90% of our offense through Jokic. So what ended up happening is that now you don't give confidence to those other guys like Will Barton and Aaron Gordon and Hollins and Monte Morris, those guys that are sitting out there on the perimeter. So when you get to the playoffs, guess what? And it's time for you to make a play. It's foreign to you. Now, I will say this. Golden State has looked great, but Golden State hasn't matched up with guards that Memphis has. Memphis has the most athletic team in the NBA. Memphis Grizzlies have shooters. Memphis Grizzlies play defense. The Memphis Grizzlies are some dogs. So I'm not taking anything away from Golden State, but let's just keep it all the way real. The Denver Nuggets really just stink.
I wouldn't go that far. I think that's a bit cruel. And the reason why I think that's a bit cruel is because they don't have Jamal Murray, who is hurt. They don't have Michael Porter Jr., who is hurt. And the players that they have are role players. Now, when those dudes are available, those dudes play their role and they play pretty well. And I think that if you look at a team like the Denver Nuggets, KP, you got to ask yourself, if those dudes were healthy, would you say that about Denver? No, because you'd look at the parts around those three and you'd say they have a pretty good team. I'm certainly not going to sit up there and throw any shade on Mike Malone, because let me tell you something. When you consider the onslaught that Golden State is capable of throwing in your direction, I mean, damn, there's only but so much you could do. That's really what I'm getting back to, because you picked the Memphis Grizzlies to come out of the West, okay? Now, if you sleepy, you sleepy. If you just want to act like you nodding off. But I'm listening. I'm talking to you right now, because you sat up there and said maybe slightly you've changed. Well, I got news for you. 0 to 40% ain't slightly. That's a significant jump, Kendrick Perkins. 40% matters. And that's the jump that you gave the Golden State Warriors. You gave them no chance to a 40% chance. So let's address that for a second here. Here's the reality. You know why you gave them a 40% chance? Because you're watching these brothers right now. Lethal Weapon 3. Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and Jordan Poole. That's what you're looking at right now. Let's go back to the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the Memphis Grizzlies. I like their moxie. I like their youth. I like the fact that they go after it. I like their athleticism. I'm very impressed with I've been very impressed with them all year. I think they are easily one of the top 3 teams in the entire NBA. Taylor Jenkins was runner-up for my Coach of the Year candidate. I gave it to Monty Williams because I think he deserves it. And when I think about teams that could beat Memphis, the 2 teams that jump to my mind were Phoenix and Golden State, and then Memphis. That's how I view the powers in the NBA, okay? And I understand that the Golden State Warriors fell off, but now I'm thinking about, look at what they're doing. Look at Draymond's defense. Look at the supplementary parts that's a guy like Wiggins and others. Then you get to the 3, the 3-headed monster, in Steph, Klay, and Jordan Poole. It ain't just their perimeter shooting. It ain't just their ability to get to the basket. It's also free throw shooting. Why am I bringing that up? Because what did we see Memphis struggle with a little bit last night? Free throw shooting. I keep bringing this kind of stuff. How many times have you seen, come playoff time, when you can't make your free throws, how it could eventually cost you? It does matter. It does matter. And so I'm loving the idea that Memphis and Golden State will ultimately meet up with one another, because Golden State's got something to be concerned about with Memphis athleticism and how they can come at you and how they can attack you and how you ain't this ain't Denver that you're going against once you go against Memphis. There's levels to this, and Memphis is on a different level than Denver. But I believe in Poole, Steph, and Klay that much, where I'm not changing, because I've been there since day one.
Well, here's the problem that I have with you, and this is the thing that irks my damn nerves with you, okay? You always want to talk about one side of the basketball. See, this series right here, Steph, Klay, Jordan Poole, those perimeter guys, they actually have a series off where they don't have to play defense. That is not going to happen when you play against the Memphis Grizzlies.
So are you questioning the Golden State Warriors defense? Are you questioning the Golden State Warriors defense?
No, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is it's going to be a different series now when we actually have to watch. And now Steph Curry, that ankle is going to be tested when he have to slide them puppies. Now we're going to see if Klay Thompson going to be able to slide them puppies when you're going against a dynamic, a guy that can't be stopped by getting to the basket in Ja Morant. And then you have to guard a guy like Desmond Baines, and you got Dylan Brooks over there. You got the kid Clark coming off the bench. All these guys are capable of taking you off the dribble.
Melton, too.
Okay, cool. So my point is that I'm not knocking about their defense. I just said in this series they haven't had to play perimeter defense like that because the Denver Nuggets don't have guys available to attack them off the dribble. And this is why I gave them a 40% chance. Hold on, listen. I gave them a 40% chance. Because right now, I'm looking at the Western Conference, and the two best teams that are in the Western Conference right now are the Golden State Warriors and the Memphis Grizzlies. So if they happen to go against each other, guess who I'm picking? I'm picking the Memphis Grizzlies. Here's why I say that.
I'm picking the Warriors.
Devin Booker. Okay, then that's fine. Devin Booker, and I feel like whoever win that series is going to represent the West because of the injury to Devin Booker. The injury to Devin Booker has changed the whole.
Hold it. Pause. You don't get to say that. You don't, and that's what you do that gets on my damn nerves. Because you try to now you're trying to act like the Devin Booker injury is what's influencing you. We got tape, bro. You picked the Memphis Grizzlies months ago. So it has nothing to do with Devin Booker. It has nothing to do with Devin Booker. You picked Memphis months ago.
If you, let me ask you a question. If you, we're talking about a team representing the Western Conference. I think you're not hearing what I'm saying at the moment. You're taking what I'm saying out of context, like everybody do you when you say something, okay? They pick what they want to pick. Here's the thing that I'm telling you about the Phoenix Suns. When you look at the three teams before the playoffs started, we had the Phoenix Suns, the Grizzlies, and the Warriors, all, as the favorites to come out of the Western Conference. Whichever one come out, okay, cool. But what I'm saying is, because of the injury to Devin Booker, the Phoenix Suns have dropped out of that conversation, and now it's all about the Golden State Warriors and the Memphis Grizzlies. And that's why I just told you, Steven, that the winner of this next series is going to be the team to represent the Western Conference. I just told you that.
Steven, he told you, okay?
He called me Steven. I'm going to let him slide because that's my little big bro, and I love him, but only my mama calls me Steven. But that's a different, God rest her soul, but that's different. That's a different ballgame. Here's the deal. All I was trying to say to you is that even though the Devin Booker injury has you saying the winner of this series, assuming it's Memphis and Golden State, is coming out of West, all I'm saying to you is even without an injury to Devin Booker, you were one of the first to come on national television months ago and say Memphis coming out no matter what. So I didn't want to hear anything about the Devin Booker injury as it pertains to Memphis. Me personally, I'm of this mindset. When you look at the Memphis Grizzlies, it's a different animal. When you talk about Poole with Clay and Steph, it's a different ball game right now. And let me tell you something. You talk about me talking about one side of the ball. I didn't know I had to talk about Golden State's defense. Everybody knows their defense has been pretty elite. These brothers get after you. And the fact of the matter is, because of their ability to get after you, that's what creates a lot of their offensive opportunities. And with some of the mistakes that we've seen Memphis make, those are not mistakes they're going to be able to afford to make against Golden State. Regular season results notwithstanding.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think Ja is worried about anybody on the perimeter of the Golden State Warriors after having to have to deal with a Patrick Beverly for a tie series? Do you honestly believe that? Okay, so this is setting him up to go out there and do his thing. It's nobody on except for Draymond Green, which plays the center/power before
Can I say
position.
one last point?
No one on that. Go ahead.
I don't give a damn what Ja Morant is worried about. I give a damn how he plays. Last night was not a great game for him. Desmond Bain balled out. Brandon Knight balled
16,
out.
10, and 10.
I'm just
16, 10, and 10.
Go look at the numbers. Go look at the efficiency. Go look at the efficiency, free throws, and his shooting. All I'm trying to say is that if the Ja Morant that showed up last night offensively showed up against Golden State, they got no chance. Ja Morant, in order to beat the Golden State Warriors, Ja Morant got to be that dude we saw last year in the playoffs against Utah. That's who he got to be.
That is not true. That is not true, and
right,
you're disrespecting the rest of the guys around him.
I'm not disrespecting
do.
him. I'm just saying that he's the catalyst. He's
Okay,
the leader.
Steven, he told you. All right, party's
Okay.
over.
Yes.
The Warriors have leapfrogged the Suns as the favorites to win the title right now for the first time. Guys, another game I want to get to. Really impressive that the Mavs continue to hold their own without their best player, Luka Doncic, still sidelined with that left calf injury. Dallas taking a 2-1 lead over Donovan Mitchell and the Utah Jazz. Jalen Brunson continues to be dominant, 31-1-5. Mitchell did his thing as well, but it wasn't enough. Donovan, where's your focus for Game 4 tomorrow at home?
If we're looking at, man, there's pressure on this, I think that takes our mind off the task at hand. I don't think we feel there's going to be expectations, it's going to be tough, there's going to be pressure, but I think for us, it's if we focus on the things we need to do, we'll be all right. So, we're down 2-1. It happens. Let's fix it. We can't go out there and change the result. How do we build from here and go from there?
Stephen, are you surprised that the Mavs took Game 3 on the road without Luka?
Well, I am surprised somewhat, but not too much. But that's not the word that comes to my mind. The word that comes to my mind is disgust. I'm going to reiterate what I said the other day. I can't stand the Utah Jazz. They make me sick. I really, really can't stand this team. I'm sorry. I think that sorry behinds, they just make me sick. I like the owner and his wife and the philanthropy that they engage in is a beautiful, beautiful thing.
I can't believe you're more frustrated with Utah than you were with Minnesota last night.
Let me explain. I like the ownership. Of course, my brother D. Wade is a part owner there, minority owner there. I love that, okay? And I'm a Donovan Mitchell fan. They never show up when it counts. They never show up when it counts. You know what I'm saying? And listen, I'm sick of them. You can book this. The Utah Jazz always find a way to not live up to expectations. This is what they've done, and Donovan Mitchell deserves some culpability for that because he's been there while it has happened. But they just make me sick. Last year, you're losing in the playoffs. Without Kawhi Leonard, the Clippers beat you. Without Kawhi Leonard, the Clippers beat you. Rudy Gobert is out there. Poor Rudy Gobert, 7-foot center, can barely move. You got him out there trying to defend three-point shooters for crying out loud. He clearly doesn't need to be playing in this series, but so much because Jason Kidd goes small on purpose. I like Jalen Brunson a lot. I love the fact that this guy's in the NBA. I underestimated him coming out of Villanova when he won a national championship for crying out loud. AKP, I actually covered his father in Philadelphia, Rick Brunson, when he played at Temple. And he was telling me about this kid. I mean, listen, I got a lot of love. He's going to get money this offseason, and he's going to deserve it. But 41 and like 31 in back-to-back games? Who the hell is he, Luka? I mean, what the hell is going on? They got Jalen Brunson looking like Luka Doncic. This is the Utah Jazz. Whatever can go wrong, I'm going Cowboys, KP. I'm going Cowboys with the Utah Jazz. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. This is what they do.
Yes.
It's what they do.
Yes.
And they make me sick because to me, Donovan Mitchell is somebody I want to see deep into the playoffs because I believe that he's that kind of player, but he ain't innocent in all of this. He's staying too. But they just make me sick. I can't stand the Utah Jazz. I'm not talking about the fans. I'm not talking about the city. I'm not talking about ownership. I'm talking about this team. They just never live up to expectations. And they're going to lose this series. They're going to lose this series.
And you look, let me tell you, you can't get all riled up, Stephen A., because I expected this, okay? See, like, you know how they have the saying Netflix and chill? You know, on those T-shirts they put on the back of the chair and those towels, it need to say, the Utah Jazz slogan need to be regular season and then chill, because that's what they do every single year. They ball out in the regular season, and then the postseason come and they just chill. And look, I know Rudy Gobert is out there getting a lot of heat, and rightfully so, right? He's getting put out of position on the defensive end. Guys are stretching the floor. I get all that. But then you can't bench a guy that's an all-star, your 3 or 4 time defensive player of the year, a guy that's getting paid $200 million. It's hard for a coach to have to put him on the bench. That's the first thing. The second thing is, where in the hell is Mike Conley? He got a bag too, and he has not showed up one bit. He's out there cool. He's out there nonchalant. He's out there like, I'm going to get my money and go on by my business. And last but not least, Donovan Mitchell has changed. Ever since Donovan Mitchell got his bag, he has not had the same hunger. I don't see the same tenacity. I don't see the same swag. I don't see the same, I want to be better than this guy when he approaches the floor. I see a cool Donovan Mitchell dribbling up the ball, twisting, acting like he's so cool, and all of a sudden they just getting beat. So, look, you could get all riled up. You could say how the Utah Jazz are a disappointment, but this is what I expected out of them. This is what they give us every single year. Like I said, regular season and then chill.
Well, I picked Dallas to win this series. Obviously,
without Luka?
No. I'm saying I actually picked them before the series began. They were saying, remember they were originally saying that Luka was going to be back probably game 3 or whatever.
Right.
I said, there'll be enough. They can come back, they'll win this series. My whole point, however, was this. Once we learned that Luka was down, you're thinking Utah should be able to handle this. You can't beat the Dallas Mavericks without Luka. And I want to, and listen, to piggyback off your point, listen, these guys can play. They're not scrubs. But I want Donovan Mitchell, Mike Conley, Rudy Gobert, Bogdanovich, and these boys, Quinn Snyder, the coach. I want you to think about this for a second. Right now, you're down 2-1. In the last 2 games, you lost to Dorian Finney-Smith, Reggie Bullock, Spencer Dinwiddie, Dwight Powell, and Jalen Brunson. Now, no disrespect to those dudes, but you don't expect Donovan Mitchell and a Utah Jazz team, all right, to be losing to those guys. And it's just an indictment against this team and whatever expectations we foolishly place on them because they never fail to live up to them. Enjoy Utah while y'all got it. Change is coming. It's got to come. You can't leave this like
You don't think Jalen Brunson's the real deal? 72 points, 1 turnover, 2 games?
I think he could. Hold on. I think he can ball.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. But this is Luka's team. Nobody saw Kendrick Perkins. You got to support me on this. Who thought that Jalen Brunson would go out there and drop 41 and 31 in back-to-back games? Who thought that? You know he could play,
did, but
nobody saw that.
No, and you know what? I'm glad Molly asked you that question because it goes back to what I was trying to explain to you about the Memphis and Golden State series. Here's the thing about the Dallas Mavericks. They don't have a lot of household names. Their names are not on the television all the time. Their names are not talked about when you having breakfast or coffee. They don't have commercials, but they could flat out hoop. And that's the thing that I'm trying to tell you. When it comes down to the playoffs, the name on the back of the jersey don't matter no more. Put me some hoopers out there. And that's what Jason Kidd got. Jason Kidd, look, first of all, let's give a shout out to Jason Kidd.
Coach of the Year candidate. Coach of the Year candidate.
Yes. I voted
Nico.
Monty Williams, but
Don't forget Nico Harrison either because he picked up Spencer Dinwiddie. Yeah.
Absolutely. But he has these guys hungry. He has those guys committed. He has put belief into those guys. And I always say this, how a team plays is a reflection of their coach. And I'm going to tell you this right now, Stephen A. I strongly believe that Donovan Mitchell has 1 foot out the door and he's trying to force his way to the New York Knicks.
Well, if that's the case, I take back everything I said. Hey, Donovan Mitchell, how you doing, man? I completely support that kind of thinking. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I completely support that kind of thinking.
Come
that's
on
the best news I heard all day. I got nothing else to say about Utah. We don't want to upset Donovan Mitchell right now because, I'm
just shocked. You didn't have that intensity with Minnesota, and then you had it with Utah. That surprised me.
Utah disgusts
After 26 points,
Utah
they blew.
disgusts me because they've been doing it for years, and I'm disgusted with them. I just do what you're supposed to do. But in the end, we don't want to upset anybody any further.
We know because it's about you. What's up, Big Bird?
Snowball.
Hey, Molly.
Yeah, what's up?
Regular season and then chill.
I'm with it. I'm totally biting that. On Crew 4 Game 3, Big Perk. I want to start with you, Big Perk. Boston Celtic, won a championship with them. Can I get a little smile on your face for that? Come on.
He
Come
does
on.
seem
Enjoy
absolutely,
it.
does seem a bit
I'm
moody.
saying,
A bit truculent today.
Kirk's so focused.
No, Molly, it's never
What?
towards you. It's
Okay.
just to Stephen A. And I just don't want to get started until he sit up here and say that I was right.
Well, let me tell you this.
And I'm
Kendrick
waiting.
Perkins, let me tell you how Kendrick Perkins.
Stephen, he was right.
No. Let me tell you this. Kendrick Perkins is lying. Kendrick Perkins
let's
is.
kill him
hold
all
on,
day.
hold on. Kendrick Perkins is lying to the American people.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. Let me tell you why he got that frown on his face right now. See, it's raining in L.A. It's raining, you know.
He doesn't care.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Why
Oh, you don't know Big
why
Perk.
does he
Oh,
care?
he cares. Oh, he cares
Why?
about the fact. He cares about the fact that it's raining, and he also cares about the fact that I'm gone because he was with me yesterday. So, you know, the fact that I left him
Got
and
it.
he in L.A. and it's raining.
What'd you guys do, go to
You know what I'm
Catch?
saying? No, we didn't do that. I wouldn't take him there. No. I would roll, you know. I don't roll.
What is wrong with you?
You know, so I roll
You
with,
roll
I roll
with
with
what?
a different audience or something like that. He know
okay.
that. He know that.
Okay.
We gonna go out, just not there.
All right.
No, just not there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done with you. I want to talk to Perk. I want to talk to
Do
the
that.
former
Do
Celtic. All
that.
right. Can the Nets still win this series?
Oh, hell no. Look, this series is over, okay? And I think it's going no longer than 6 games. It's going to
Okay.
be over in 6 games. The way that I'm watching the Celtics play, the tenacity, the chemistry, the edge, the confidence, the way that they're punking KD, they got him discombobulated. He don't know what direction to go to. And
So
on top of that, you think I'm going to sit up here and put any stock into Steve Nash? They've been standing on the sideline looking like a damn statue. Hell no. Ime Udoka has these boys ready. They're more prepared. Look, Steve Nash, let me say this. Kevin Durant has been bailing out Steve Nash since he got there. When is Steve Nash gonna bail out Kevin Durant? You see how these guys are playing him, but yet you still try to go isolation ball. It's not working, bro. How about running them off some pin downs, running them off some misdirection plays, get them slashing to the basket? How about putting him in dribble handoff actions where he actually the guy that's doing the dribble handoffing? So here's the thing about the Brooklyn Nets that I just don't have any faith in them whatsoever. I don't really know what's going on with Kyrie right now. All I know is that I will not disrespect his religion, but I will say it's hard to play an evening game when you don't have nothing in your stomach, okay?
For sure.
I will say that. But
And it's
Kevin
for a
Durant,
month.
on the other hand, look, Kevin Durant, on the other hand, I think this is the first time ever the Boston Celtics has his number, period. And it's not going longer than 6 games.
Let me say this, ladies and gentlemen. I picked the Brooklyn Nets to win this series in 7 games. I'm going down with the ship.
Really?
I'm not jumping off my prediction, but I have 0 confidence in it. 0.
So this is just about your own ego and needing to be right. You don't really believe what's going to happen.
I ain't wrong until I'm wrong. You know, that's what this is
outta
about.
here.
I mean, it ain't official yet. It ain't official yet.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm
Just
holding
die
on.
with the
I'm
ship.
holding on. That's all it is. It ain't nothing else. It ain't because I have nothing else to fall on.
Yeah.
I have nothing else to fall on. I cannot believe what I have seen happen with Kevin Durant. You can't find me back-to-back games in his career, let alone a playoff series where Kevin Durant has looked this bad. It has never happened. And I'm talking to one of his former teammates, and I've talked to other teammates of his. I've talked to other NBA aficionados and what have you. No one has seen Kevin Durant look this bad. He has played over 935 games in his career. He has never looked like this. Okay? By the way, after a playoff loss since the year like 2018 or 2017, I forgot which year it was, he's averaged 39 a game after a playoff loss. This is not what he does. I'm not talking about the loss. Forget the loss for a second. 0 for 10 in the second half, Kevin Durant. It does not happen. This brother can average 30 in his sleep, but it's happening now. And let me tell you this right. You got to pay attention to several things. They are being physical with him. They are pushing him around. They are getting away with calls. And there's a lot of people that want you to bring that support Kevin Durant, that want folks to bring that up, and I get that. Here's the flip side to it. The flip side to it, KP, to support your point, is that there have been people who have been physical with Kevin Durant before. There have been people who have knocked him to the floor before. He still would get up and give it to him. That ain't happening in this series. And it ain't, and I don't want to hear about just double teams. We're seeing Jason Tatum on them one-on-one and defending him. We're seeing him blitzed. He can't handle the pressure. We're seeing him rattled. We're seeing him flummoxed in a way that I have never seen Kevin Durant
Is that
before.
on KD or is that on the coaching?
Well, that's both. It's KD because he's been around long enough.
Yeah.
And he's a superstar, but it's also Steve Nash. But that still comes back to KD and Kyrie. Why? Kyrie's on the record. We don't need a coach. We good. We don't need a coach. And Kevin Durant co-signed that. Well, guess what? You found out that you do. You know why? Because you need it for all the other people. You got to coach them, and you got to maximize their potential to supplement the superstars that you have available. So when Kyrie, no disrespect whatsoever, half my boys are Muslim, okay? I understand. You fasted. It's Ramadan.
Yeah.
I got that. Nothing disrespectful to that whatsoever. But the point is, if you Kyrie, you got to anticipate all of these different things that come that could come along, and have foresight to understand what you might need. You might not need it personally.
Yeah.
But those other dudes didn't. He didn't think about that. He was thinking about himself when he made statements like that. When they assembled this team, him and KD are responsible for it, and whatever they're lacking is on the shoulders of Kyrie and KD, and that's what's getting exposed.
Yeah, and Eid isn't until May 2nd, so he's going to be fasting this whole series, depending how long it goes.
Yeah. Well, Molly, Stephen A., let me explain something to the both of you, okay? The great Shaquille O'Neal quoted while he was playing with the Lakers, you know, when it's down low in the paint. I know a guy, he could bang with me down low in the first quarter. He could bang with me in the second quarter. He could bang with me in the third quarter. But I know by the time we get to the fourth quarter, I got him. You know why? Because of his size, his brute, his strength. You know, Shaq was just not normal. I say that to say this. When you look at Kevin Durant and you look at the way that the Boston Celtics are guarding him, from Jason Tatum to Marcus Smart to Grant Williams to Jaylen Brown, even Al Horford, old self, is getting out there and sliding them puppies and guarding Kevin Durant. But it's not when Kevin Durant catches the ball is what you need to pay attention to. It's before he catches the ball. As he's running up the floor and Kevin Durant don't have a ball, guess what they're doing? They're touching him up. They're bumping him. If he's slicing through the lane trying to get to the low post, guess what's happening? He's getting hit by one person.
One question for
Al
you.
Horford is...
The only question I have for you, have you seen it before?
Wait, let him finish his thought.
No, Stephen, I'm just trying to teach you something right quick, my good brother.
Yeah.
I'm trying to teach you how
class.
film rooms go. I'm just trying to teach you how film rooms go and when we're watching tape and what their game plan is. So when he's running across the lane to go to the other low block, the one guy who is setting the screen on him, Jaylen Brown is bumping him up. Jason Tatum is fighting. Al Horford is dropping down in the paint. He's hitting KD on the way. And then as he's trying to get the ball on the opposite block, guess what happened? So they're denying them. They're bodying them up. That weighs on you. So when I saw Kevin Durant get into the fourth quarter of Game 2 and go 0 for 10, it wasn't a surprise because he was already exhausted physically.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. He's right. You're right until that last statement. Kevin Durant has been in the league all of these years, and this is not the first time he's been exposed to physicality, and he didn't go 0 for 10. Stop it.
All right, we're up against it. We got to go. We got to go.
That.
We got to go. Nets in 7. Listen, it'll probably be a different deal on the home floor, though. Game 3 tonight. Suns Pelicans tied 1 game apiece. Can Phoenix get by New Orleans without Book? We get into that. Karl Anthony Towns not looking like the #1 overall pick. Last night, the T-Wolves blew a 26-point lead. How much of this is on Towns? It's for fun week as usual. But Big Perk, come on, Lethal Weapon 3. You know that's corny. Tell your boy.
That is not corny.
It is not going to stick.
About far.
Yeah, it's
it
horrible.
is. It really is.
You're better than that. You are better than that.
You know what, though? Hey, Molly, Stephen A. You know what was the best part about this week on First Take was Dan Orlovsky and Stephen A. Smith. But listen, I will say this. Y'all will be proud of me, okay? Because I brought my wife out here to LA with me, okay? And we were supposed to leave on the red eye. And they only had one first class seat. So you know what I did? I switched my flight so that my wife could ride in first class with me and not put her in coach. That's what you like to hear, Stephen A?
There you go.
Hold on.
Gentlemen.
Hold on.
Gentlemen right there.
Hold it. You know, it just touches my heart when people listen, man. I mean, I'm proud of you, Big Perk. Now, see, that damn Dan Orlovsky, his wife should leave him. I mean, she should leave him for about 2 weeks. Just leave him alone with the kids. Just leave him alone with the kids all by himself. He doesn't appreciate her nearly as much as he should. He gonna put his wife in coach. That is Would you going coach?
No,
Would you going coach?
I do fly first class always now, but I worked very hard to get to this point to fly first class.
And so did his wife.
And I like to be comfortable.
I mean, how come you never called Dan Orlovsky out for that?
Because I just gotta say one thing. First of all, Big Perk, I love that you got some QT with the wife in LA. I love that you changed the flight so you could both be comfortable. But I need to defend Dan, and I know what he would be saying right now. How many years did you play in the NBA?
Yeah, but Molly, listen.
The money's a little different.
She's worth it.
The money's a little different.
Mrs. Orlovsky is worth it.
I know she is. I'm just saying the money's a little different.
Hold on. What happened to the ladies of sacrifice? What happened to the ladies of sacrifice? Asking a man to make that sacrifice. Am I not worth it? Isn't that what y'all say? Well, damn it, Mrs. Orlovsky is worth it. She should leave him for 2 weeks. Leave him alone with the kids all by himself so he can appreciate the greatness of Mrs. Orlovsky, okay? Because he is not appreciating her enough to put her in coach. He violating all kind of man rules. I'm ashamed of Dan Orlovsky. I am ashamed. And I'm ashamed of you for not calling him out for that when you know better.
Dan, I tried to defend you.
It can't be defended.
I tried.
I'm proud of you, big boy. I mean, it's just making me emotional right now that this brother is learning like that. That way to go. Way to go. It's what you do. Please.
Don't look at me like that.
Don't look at me like that. Ain't no woman traveling with me going to coach.
Okay.
I don't roll like that.
Okay. Okay. Watch out.
Check my resume.
Watch out. Watch out. Those paps might get you. The Suns' Devin Booker has a grade 1 hamstring, according to Brian Winter. You know, people be taking pictures real sneaky.
There you go.
The injury typically requires 14 to 21 days of recovery. Booker has experienced hamstring issues for the past 2 seasons. The Suns were 8-6 in games without him this season. Series tied at 1-1. Game 3 tonight in the Big Izzy. Big Perk. Do you think the Suns get past the Pelicans without having Devin Booker?
No, I don't. I actually have the Pelicans winning this in 6 games. And here's why. When I look at the Pelicans, right, and I look at the spirit that they're playing with, it's a different type of energy. On top of that, when I look at their superstar, and Brandon Ingram, he's a young superstar in the making. This little dude reminds me of Kevin Durant all over again. The way that he's able to get to his spots, his handle, attack the basket, his length, his athleticism, all the above. Right now, with Devin Booker being out, Brandon Ingram is the best player in this series, period. So with that being said I'm looking at how they're getting things done. I'm looking at how he took over game 2. And he's going to repeat this. It's going to be fired up in the know you, baby. Them people are going to be out. And we all know role players play better at home. Phoenix losing Devin Booker is everything. And by the way, Big Jonas Valanciunas, he got DeAndre Ayton scared to death. I mean, he's allergic to the paint along with allergic to rebounding at this moment. So we looking at Chris Paul. He needs another star to help him out in DeAndre Ayton, and I just don't see DeAndre Ayton winning that matchup against Big Jonas. It's bad enough they got to worry about C.J. McCollum on the other end and all those other boys, Larry Nance Jr., who's playing this behind off. I have the Pelicans winning in 6 since the injury of Devin Booker.
I disagree, but I'm not going to sit up there and fault you for where you're at. Brandon Ingram, man, this brother can play. And he's doing some good things. And not only that, he's not just showing his game, he's showing his basketball character, the franchise, the city, the people. I mean, everybody loves the guy. I can't stop hearing enough about, the rave reviews he's getting just as a person. And we know what he does on the basketball court. I mean, Valanciunas, you're absolutely right. But listen, DeAndre Ayton's got to step up. Last time we saw him in pivotal playoff action was against Milwaukee, and we saw what Giannis did to that brother. Okay, now you got Valanciunas doing his thing. What we're forgetting is that Valanciunas used to be in Toronto. Valanciunas is now in New Orleans. Valanciunas can ball. I mean, this is a big boy that is not a scrub. He'll put it on you. And this is one of those things, and Kendrick, you'll appreciate this. Like Jokic, for example. You ever realize how big Jokic is? I mean, I don't think people realize it. Jokic is a big boy. It's just one of those dudes that just lean on you. Just a big tub of lard. Can't jump onto a curb. But you got to be thoroughbreds to deal with him because you can't stop him. He's just a big boy. Valanciunas is one of those brothers, too. And he can lean on you and pound you and just wear you down himself. So that's something to be considered. And C.J. McCollum, can't say enough about David Griffin picking him up. I think the Sixers should have grabbed him and Robert Covington to join Joel Embiid in Philadelphia. That's just my personal opinion when they had that opportunity. But if Phoenix is what we have been saying they are all year long, I got to believe that they can find a way to pull this series out against a playing team without Zion Williamson. I have to believe that. And when I look at Phoenix right now, I'm thinking about CP3 approaching age 37 next month, who is the best point guard in the world. The best pure quintessential point guard in the world. I'm thinking about Bridges. I'm thinking about Ayton. I'm thinking about the other pieces, Cameron Johnson and others, that they have at their disposal. Certainly it can be tough, but the bottom line is they're exceptionally well coached. They've got floor generalship that nobody else in the league has at this particular moment in time. And you combine that with the athletes that they have, I believe even without Devin Booker, it'll be tough, it'll be hard fought, it'll be dicey, but Phoenix should still come out on top, even if it takes 7 games. That's where I'm at with it, KC.
And look, Stephen A., I don't disagree with you about Chris Paul, you know, far as him being the ultimate floor general and things to that nature. But in these playoffs, it hasn't been about people who's been orchestrating offense and being the floor general. It's been about guys going to get buckets when it matters the most, okay? It's not about who's calling sets and he's controlling the game and putting guys. No, it's none of that. It's about guys going to get buckets. And when I look at Brandon Ingram, I look at how poised he is. I looked at that 37-piece wing dinner spicy he dropped, all flats. And then went there and grabbed 11 boards. And the thing, Molly and Stephen A., that impressed me the most about him was the 9 assists, making guys around him better. Let me tell you when a young player is special. Willie Green said it was a point of the game where he didn't say a word or call one play because he saw that Brandon Ingram had it under control. Willie Green has won championships with the Warriors. Willie Green coached with the Suns last year. And for him to sit back and have that type of trust in Brandon Ingram tells you a lot about this young man.
Pelicans in 6?
That's what I got it at.
I got Suns in 7.
Okay.
Suns in 7.
We'll leave it there. We got to get into this one. Karl Anthony Towns not looking like the #1 overall pick last night and handled all that smoke. The Grizzlies overcame a 26-point deficit to defeat the T-Wolves in Game 3. Memphis won 104-95. They now lead the series 2-1. Karl Anthony Towns had a lot to say after the game.
4 shots for you. Just what did you see out there, and why was it so hard for you to get involved?
Go home, drink some wine, move on to the next day. I mean, that's really simple, you know, just decompress, just go home, remember what got me here, what got us here, you know, our support systems, our work, and each other, and we just got to lean on that.
There's that. Big Perk, I was watching the post game and Charles Barkley was livid and just saying how it was dumb basketball by Minnesota there. How much of Game 3 and this collapse is particularly on Karl Anthony Towns, though?
It's really not. I think you know, when we look at Karl Anthony Towns and we look at his stat line, he is a big man, right? He is a big man that you basically, not saying that he can't push the ball or handle the ball and push it up the floor, but I just think Molly, Stephen A., he's a guy that you actually got to get him the ball to his spots. And I think the pressure that the Memphis Grizzlies put on the backcourt and the guards of the Minnesota Timberwolves stopped that. Now, make no mistake about it, Karl Anthony Towns supposed to be that dude. Karl Anthony Towns supposed to have this type of, some type of dog in him. Yeah. But we keep asking Karl Anthony Towns to when is he going to bring out, or when is he going to come out and be that killer that we all want him to be? And it's just not him. And I think we give him unfair criticism trying to make him be someone that he's not. Again, like I said earlier in the show, this is not his team anymore. When I think about the Minnesota Timberwolves, I think about Anthony Edwards. When I think about the leader of the Minnesota Timberwolves, I think about Anthony Edwards. I know Anthony Edwards is going to go out there and compete. I know Anthony Edwards is going to come and address the media. And I know Anthony Edwards is not only going to hold himself accountable, but he's going to hold his teammates accountable, including Karl Anthony Towns.
We disagree. I think a lot of this is on Karl Anthony Towns. I'm not saying it all is. They got to play better. They got to play smarter. Coach Finch got to coach them smarter because they did look idiotic in the second half. How do you let a team go on a 21-0 run in the playoffs and don't call one single timeout? How do you do that? That's just not intelligent. It's just that simple. And so, of course, it's not all on Karl Anthony Towns. But he is the face of the franchise for the moment. We look at Anthony Davis, he's coming. We see superstar potential written all over him. We understand it. But he isn't the one that's been there. Karl Anthony Towns, this is his 7th season. His 7th season. And the brother just finished averaging nearly 25 and 10. This is his 2nd playoffs. If you remember in 2017, 2018, I believe that's what it was. Mm-hmm. Kendrick Perkins, they lost in 5 games to the Houston Rockets. The first 2 games of that series, you know how many points Karl Anthony Towns had? He had 8 points and 5 points. Now, I understand Jimmy Butler was there and all of that other stuff. Andrew Wiggins as well at the time. 8 points and 5 points. It's unacceptable. He comes into the playoff game. He scores 11 points. He fouls out. You've listened to him be mic'd up. He talks a lot of smack now. He talks a lot of smack, and he tries to act like he's bringing a whole lot of smoke. Like I said, it ain't like he's some quiet boy, and we're bothering him. Or we're trying to impose our belief system on his shoulders. No, we get it from him. He's the one expressing and disseminating this message to all of us because of how he wants us to look at him. And then tip-off arrives, and we see something different. You got to play a game, forget the 11 points. How do you foul out with 7 minutes and change left, knowing how pivotal that was for you? Then you show up, and then in this Memphis series, in the last two games, Karl Anthony Towns has attempted 11 shots. Attempted. Last night, 4. In 2 of the 3 games in the playoffs, or 2 of the 4 games of playing, and then these 3 games, this man had more turnovers than shot attempts. And then when you're asked the question, next question.
What the hell's wrong with you?
But,
I mean, come on. That's all I'm saying. Of course, he has a lot of culpability. That's all I'm saying. No. And I'm not disagreeing with you. The reason that I'm so calm is because of the fact that you brought up about his first go-around in the postseason. Karl Anthony Towns have shown us who he is. So I don't know when he have these moments, why does the world get so upset? Because this is who he is. But Stephen A.
You would hold him against somebody. How many times do you go, you get on people, Kendrick Perkins, not just because of what they do, but about what they try to project, and whether or not it matches with what they're trying to project. Karl Anthony Towns is trying to come across as this dude. And then he gets on the court and shows up in post-game conferences, and he's not that dude in either scenario. That's the issue.
But Stephen A., it's a difference though. If I knew that Karl Anthony Towns was a Rottweiler, then I would attack him differently. But I know he's nothing but a fluffy Pomeranian. And see, what you have to realize is I'm going to pull a U. I'm going to pull a U on you. When I first came into this media game, I blew Stephen A. up. I learned a lot from him, and he told me, every show is different. Every person that you go on the show with is different. So expect different personalities, and you have to learn how to adjust.
Yes,
Did you not tell me that? Right? So I took that, and that's the same way that I'm looking at Karl Anthony Towns at the moment. You don't think he makes me upset for a guy that's 7 foot and not imposing his will and his skill as he is, the talent that he has, but don't have that mindset to go out there and be a Joel Embiid type player, putting up big numbers because he has the capability. But at the end of the day, over the last 7 years, Jimmy Butler warned us, this is who Karl Anthony Towns is. So when he do it, I'm like, hey, man, this is who he is. He's shown me this so many times.
He has the ability. And we're not looking at him and saying you should be dunking on people or you should be scoring 20 points a night in the post. What we're talking about is an overall level of production that mirrors what you tell us you are. And what I'm saying is if you're going to be all emboldened and boisterous about what you are, all right, then I'm going to be emboldened and boisterous about what you show us, whatever that may be.
I agree.
If you showing up and you backing up everything that you say, I'm cool with you. If you fail to back it up, but it's because you struggled, I understand you struggled. But when you are having more turnovers than shot attempts, you are absent. You are MIA. You are completely missing in action. And then to show up at a press conference, and to talk about next question. Let me say this to all of these athletes out there. You know, when you're a high-end producer, you get to do that. When you come up smaller than Mini-Me, you don't. Yeah. And you cannot show up at a press conference talking about next question.
Straight
Who the
up.
hell you think you are?
Yeah. Straight up.
I think there are moments in my career where I thank the good Lord I wasn't in attendance. Because let me tell you something right now. If I was in that room last night, and Karl Anthony Towns said next question, I'd have been like, what you mean next question? Hold up. And I don't give a damn who asked the question. I'd be like, what you mean next question? Yeah. That's a legitimate question that reporter asked. Yeah. You have 4 shot attempts.
Yeah, after a Pomeranian performance.
Explain that. Yeah. Explain that.
Molly,
I mean, there's no way he would have got away with that.
Big Perk, talk to me.
Molly, Stephen, you know the problem that I have with these athletes. They could approach some media person, media woman, or a man that's answering a question, and they ready to get all bold and tough. Well, keep that same energy when you on the floor. You see what I'm saying? That's the thing that bothers me, because I know some of these guys, and they not built like that, but they ready to attack and ready to go at the media. Go at somebody that's half your size, but we don't see that same energy when you're on the floor. That's the one thing I have with Karl Anthony Towns.
No, that's for sure. Big Perk, I just want you to know one thing. I might look like a Bichon Frise, but I'm really a pit bull. Still to come, Villanova's Jay Wright speaks about his retirement. Don't get it twisted. We react to that next. I see you staring at me, Ye. Okay, Ye. The Bucks lost game to their I can't. Can I do this? All right. Chris Middleton, MRI results showing sprained MCL will keep him out for at least the remaining games of the series. Middleton reevaluated in 2 weeks. The last 2 seasons, including the playoffs, when the Bucks' big three are together, they win 72% of games when at least one is missing. They are 28-31, a team below 500. So you see the numbers right there. Perk is back. Should the Bucks still be able to get by the Chicago Bulls?
I think so. It's going to be a little tough, guys. DeMar DeRozan had a big-time game the other night. Caruso's back in the lineup, even though Ball is out for the rest of the season. They've got some brothers who can play. They've got some athletes with him and Levine. Vucevic don't know a layup. I don't even know if he knows what a layup is, Kendrick Perkins. That brother's going to shoot jump shots. Even though he's 6'10", he's going to shoot jump shots. He ain't going to do anything. That's what he's going to do. But nevertheless, Milwaukee has shown vulnerability. I just think this is one of those situations where Giannis reminds the world who the hell he is. Okay, Middleton's out, but Drew Holiday is still there. Bobby Portis is still there. We've got additional weapons. Brook Lopez even had a good game the other night. He dropped about 25. You see some of these other brothers coming off the bench as well. I think that with Giannis being the dominant force that he is, he revs it in a high gear. and they end up pulling out this series.
Kirk?
I'm with you on this one, Stephen A. To me, it's not a debate. This is why Giannis is going to show why he's the best player in the league, okay, and the most dominant player in the league, and the best player in this series. When I look at Giannis Antetokounmpo, I think this is his moment. The way that Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton had to hold it down while he was injured last year, it's time for him to return the favor. And I think knowing a guy like Giannis, seeing what he done last year in the finals, seeing how he overcomes the odds and keeps getting better and how he wants it and has that Mamba mentality, I would never bet against him, I tell you that much. But I will say it will not be easy. But I just want to ask Stephen A., I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
You've been screaming about Kevin Durant being the best player on the planet.
Yes.
And I think it's Giannis Antetokounmpo. Matter of fact, I think it's 1A, 1B when you think about Giannis and Joel Embiid at the moment. I just need to know, do you have a change of heart right now about who's the best player in the world?
Not yet, but I will tell you what I said on the air. What was it? After game 2. I said that if Kevin Durant continues to play like this and Brooklyn goes home, can't call him the best player in the world anymore. It's been that bad. I have said that, yes.
Okay, I was just asking. But I am, you know what, I will say I am impressed with the Chicago Bulls. And you know what this playoffs have shown me more than anything? See, the good thing about playoffs is that now you get to watch all teams play, and now you get to value, especially with the great commentary and people who's breaking down the game of basketball, that scoring isn't everything. Because although DeRozan did what he did, dropping that 40-piece, guess what? They wouldn't have won that game without Alex Caruso. And you could go and look at his box scores, and his numbers don't look exciting, and they're not going to blow you out the water at all. But his impact on the game, and see, these are the teaching moments, Stephen A., that I expect you to come on here and say, you know what? I've been watching the game, and I see it from a different lens. Not guys just shooting from the free throw line or guys just firing up three-point shots.
Well,
guys that's really impacting winning.
Well, the brilliance of yours truly, meaning me, is that I know when to articulate a position and when to leave it to others to do so. That's number one. And number two, remember, I'm going to focus on certain things for a reason, because what I'm monitoring, although I know playoff competition is different, what I monitor is how you are during the regular season and then how you are when it really, really counts.
Regular season and chill.
What I don't like, and that's one of the reasons I prioritize the regular season the way that I do, right? Because you got people that'll sit up there and they'll miss their share of regular season games because they're all about the playoffs. And I'm like, no. I want to see you go about the business of performing during the regular season, and then I want to see how you react when the pressure mounts.
Got it. Is that going to be your campaign slogan when you run?
Well, you know what?
The brilliance of others?
For me to run for the presidency of the United States, here's what I would tell you. Here's what I would tell you, Kendrick Perkins. I would sit up there and say, listen, I'm going to give it to you straight. I ain't going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to know. And I ain't going to do what you want me to do. I'm going to do what's best. And someday I'm going to flow left. And someday I'm going to flow right. But at the end of the day, and you see how I'm holding my fist? This is what they do as politicians. At the end of the day, I'm a man of the people. I'm about America. America first, baby. America first. This is what we got to do. I can assure you this, Molly. I can assure you this. I'll never lose a debate. I'll never lose a debate. If I run for the presidency of the United States, I will not lose a debate, okay? I'll tell you that much right now.
I wish I had an eject button and I could just eject myself from this right now.
And let me tell you right now, it wouldn't be about red states. It wouldn't be about blue states. It would be about the United States of America. All of us, okay?
I can't. I just threw up in my mouth. Just you go on the break. I can't. I'm gone.
My name is Stephen A. Smith.
I can't.
And I approve this message. All right?
Just fade to black.
Yeah.
Tell the producers just Just fade to black right now.
Stephen A. Smith.
Let's go to break.
And I approve this message.
Okay.
There we go.
Take us to break, big time.
All right, we got to go. We'll be right back
What's
to
coming up
close out the
next?
show.
Since you've been running the country.
Excuse me, you interrupted me? Are you interrupting me?
You don't even know what we're doing.
Don't interrupt
It's
POTUS.
Tyson
Don't
Fury.
interrupt POTUS. Don't interrupt the future POTUS, okay? We'll be back with more First Take in a minute.
I can't.